Today we wanted to talk about residential and mineral rights when you wanted to be a future homeowner.
Now, before we even put in an offer, or you tell me, I love this house, I want to know everything about this house. Well, and then you're calling everybody around, what do I know about this house? The truth is, everything is going to be listed for real estate agents in a residential rights disclosure.
Exactly.
So most of the time in North Carolina, they're going to say they know nothing, right? It's going to have the answer of, we have no representation. However, and that means they're claiming no responsibility. Yes and no's have different responsibilities as well, though. So we're going to really kind of talk about when people ask us how old the HVAC is, this is where we get this information from, the residential property disclosure. So you have the right to ask me for it. If you want to read it yourself, I would love for you to read it yourself. I'm just reading what they wrote. And if you want to read it yourself, that's even better.
Exactly. Therefore, residential property disclosure really includes of 38 questions at the film of this video, and it's been developed during the many years. And therefore, when the owner or the seller of the house put the house in the market, need to answer all those questions.
Right.
No?
So basically, they're going to ask how old the house is, electrical issues, plumbing issues, heating issues, pest, drainage, any hazardous materials,
roof issues.
If the seller knows of any properties, detail it. Problems, detail it. And if the buyer cancels the contract because they didn't know about this and they didn't get it, that's going to be there. And most of the time, we have this residential property disclosure right away. So it's not a really reasoned transaction because we're going to give it to you before we actually put in any offer.
Yes, and as my wife said, most of the time they just put no representation. They don't want it to involve. And what is the reason that they do that?
Because if they write yes or no, they are now claiming legal responsibility. When they claim no representation, they're kind of waiving all of their well, we didn't know. So they're protecting themselves legally. However, I will say, even with the people who say I don't know, they will tend to replace the HVAC 2020, whatever year they did, and provide the receipt for that, because most people do try to be honest, but they're trying to, explain it in some way.
Exactly. And also in the state of North Carolina...
Before you get to your point, I think we need to do our introduction.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel and podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Also, you call text all the time, 252-327-3357. We love talking to you. Don't be shy. Also, grab our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below. Okay, tell us your point.
And the point is, in the state of North Carolina, also they put all the buyers, they need to do their own due diligence and do the home inspection after their offer has been accepted by the seller and do that. Therefore, they pretty much give you everything. They're not claiming anything that is wrong with the house, but they give you that authority after that. They accepted your offer to go and search about everything about the property.
Also, a lot of information is going to be there as well, including the Owners Association. So if it is in an HVAC, they're going to tend to give you some information about the HOA.
HOA.
Right? So if there is an Owners Association, you're going to find in your HOA information here. It won't be perfect. They'll just tell you who the contact information is, but that contact information is there. And now, what do I have to do if you're putting in an offer?
Therefore, definitely we need to include those residential and mineral right to send it to the buyer, that they sign it, they acknowledge it, that they received it, and they put their initials there.
Right, so they read it, they read through it, they understand what's going on with this house, and they are ready to rock and roll. Now, the second thing is the mineral rights one. This is a little more fun in North Carolina.
Exactly. Therefore, when we were living in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, we basically didn't have any right to the mineral. No?
Right, because underneath everywhere in Pittsburgh, it's all oil down there, oil and shale. So there's lots of mineral rights. All of it has been kind of taken away by somebody else. Now here in North Carolina, what's under our dirt? Water. So it's not quite the same. So the answers are typically I've never seen a mineral rights as any other answers but this. Were they severed from the previous member? I don't know. No representation. Has the seller severed the rights? Typically, no. I've never seen them say any other. Does the seller intend to sever the mineral rights? Again, it's typically no. Oil and gas were severed from the previous owner. no, I don't know. And then there's typically the answer. And then the answers are seller has never severed the oil and gas rights from the property. And the answer is typically no. And the seller intends to sever the oil and gas rights. The answer is no. Why? We don't have oil and gas under our thing. And if there is, we're all going to be woohoo.
And if you have that, that's good for you. You're going to own that oil that you're digging in your backyard, and you own it.
All right, so we are so excited that we hope you loved this video.
And don't forget to call Alan Victoria at 252-327-3357. We love to help you.